What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So look, we gotta talk about Red Hulk issue number 7. I'm not gonna lie, this issue is absolutely nuts. Benjamin Percy is out here crafting what might legit be one of the most intense Thunderbolt Ross stories we've seen in a minute. And if you've been following One World Under Doom, you already know things are hella dire right now. But this takes it to a whole other level. So before we dive in, if you enjoy this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell so you don't miss any comic book stories. I'm gonna be all over One World Under Doom, so you definitely want to stay locked in. Alright, let's get into it. So we open up at Project Alpha in Virginia, and right off the rip, we're thrown into the absolute brutal fight scene. Thunderbolt Ross, not Red Hulk, just regular old man Ross, is going toe to toe with Captain Ryker, except Ryker's not exactly human anymore. Dude's been transformed into this feral creature called Warwolf, and he is straight up demolishing Ross. And here's where Percy hits us with that first iconic quote that just sets the tone for everything. Ross, bloodied and beaten, gives us this internal monologue. There's a monster inside me. There's a monster inside all of us. Some of us are owned by that monster. Some of us try to ignore it, pretend it isn't there. I use it as a weapon. That line is hella cold, because what Percy's doing here is he's establishing the core theme of this entire issue. The duality of power, the beast within, and how different people handle that darkness. Ross doesn't run from his monster. He doesn't let it control him. He weaponizes it. That's what makes him different from someone like Ryker, and we're gonna see that play out in a major way. So Ross is getting absolutely ragdolled by Warwolf, right? But even in this old aging body, he's still got that soldier mentality. Dude just reaches for a shard of glass on the floor, which is so desperate but also so clutch, and he drives it straight into Warwolf's gut. Warwolf roars, and Ross gives us another legendary line. I might be trapped in an aging body, but my mean goes a long way. I love this because it speaks to who Thunderbolt Ross is at his core. He's not young anymore. He's not in his prime, but he's got decades of tactical experience, ruthlessness, and sheer willpower. That mean he's talking about, that's the accumulated rage, discipline, and military precision that's kept him alive through everything. Through wars, through becoming Red Hulk, through betrayals, through literal death and resurrection. This dude's been through it all, and he's still standing. But Warwolf ain't playing games either. He grabs Ross in this crushing bear hug, and you can hear the bones creaking. Ross screaming, and Ross gives us this introspective moment where he's like, when I become Red Hulk, it's like flinging open every door and window inside me. Like I could wrap my arms around the equator and inhale the wind of the world. This is the opposite. I'm being crumpled, crushed, down to blackness. That imagery is so vivid, right? When Ross becomes Red Hulk, he's expanding, becoming infinite. But right now, in Warwolf's grip, he's being compressed, reduced, destroyed. It's the perfect contrast to show just how vulnerable he is without his powers. Ross goes limp. Warwolf thinks he's done and just stalks out the room. So we cut to later at Project Alpha, and Ross is now strapped to this insane looking machine with wires snaking into his body like something out of the Matrix. Because just like Neo being plugged into the Matrix, Ross is being violated, having his essence extracted and analyzed against his will. He's a prisoner in his own body, forced to experience fragmented transformations while Ryker plays mad scientist. Ryker's standing over him, all calm and clinical, and he hits Ross with this condescending line. There, now, following orders isn't so bad, is it? And Ross, bruised, barely conscious, lifts his head and says, you can beat me, starve me, lock me up, but you don't get to tell me what to do, Ryker. But Ryker corrects him with this absolute savage power play. Captain Ryker, Captain, a senior rank. You've been stripped of yours, at my advisement. You're in trouble, serious trouble, with the current administration. You threaten already delicate global treaty. You set off a nuclear strike on the sovereign nation, Latveria. Okay, so let's break this down real quick because this is low-key one of the most important moments in the issue. Ryker's not just flexing on Ross, he's revealing the political landscape of one world under doom. Ross has been stripped of his rank, branded a traitor, all because he dared to stand against doom. And Ryker's the face of the new regime. He's the bootlicker, the collaborator, the guy who's willing to sell everything America stood for just to have a seat at Doom's table. And Ross, he ain't having it. He fires back with, "Sovereign nation? My ass. You're a disgrace to the flag, Ryker, and a bootlicker. Doom is your commander-in-chief." Ross would rather die than bend the knee to Doom, and you can feel that patriotic fury radiating off the page. This is a man who's dedicated his entire life to defending America, and now he's watching it get twisted and corrupted from the inside. Ryker just coldly responds, he's everyone's commander-in-chief, and then cranks the gamma levels to maximum, targeting Ross's head specifically. And this is where things get really messed up. Ross starts to transform, but it's not a full transformation. His head swells, veins glowing red, then deflates back to normal. Then his right arm starts mutating. It's fragmented, unstable, agonizing, and Ryker explains his whole twisted plan. He wants to study Red Hulk piece by piece, organ by organ, bone by bone, to either replicate the powers or destroy Ross's mind entirely. Ryker lays it all out. If you willingly submit to my study, which, let's be honest, could take months, maybe years, then no promises, but I can appeal for your rank to be reinstated. This is psychological torture on top of physical torture. Ryker's dangling Ross's identity, his rank, his honor, in front of him like a carrot, knowing damn well Ross would never willingly submit to this. It's manipulation at its most cruel. And then Ryker leans in with that chilling justification. All for the greater good. Anything for God and country. Right, my friend? Ross screams as the machine surges. Alright, so while Ross is getting absolutely wrecked, we cut to somewhere else in Virginia, where we got Deathlock and Machine Man in this high-speed chase with cops all over them. Sirens wailing, guns fire, and these two are just trying to complete their mission. Inside the car, Deathlock's getting anxious, and he asks Machine Man, "You just going to pretend like they're not there?" And Machine Man, cool as a cucumber, responds, "Would you advise me to stop, Deathlock?" This back and forth is legit hilarious because it showcases their dynamic perfectly. Deathlock's the more human one, getting stressed, wanting action. Machine Man's pure logic, calculating every move. And Deathlock's like, "But we sure as hell gotta do something, or they're gonna toss you back to the scrapyard and me back into the clink." So Machine Man detects a tunnel up ahead, and Deathlock's throwing out suggestions. Blow it up, take out their tires. But Machine Man just keeps saying negative to everything, which is driving Deathlock crazy. Then at the last second, Machine Man accelerates towards the tunnel. They both leap out, hanging onto the top of the tunnel while their car crashes below. And the cops think they're dead. Mission accomplished. No casualties, no heat, totally under the radar. Deathlock says, "What is this place?" Machine Man breaks it down. It's an unlisted facility, probably gamma experimentation based on the nuclear infrastructure. And then he drops this knowledge bomb about the nuclear reactors needing massive amounts of water for cooling, which is why they're always built near lakes and rivers. So they're gonna sneak in through the water pipelines. Deathlock's not happy about it. Thunderbolt Ross. Guy owes me a year. But he's down for the mission. These two are about to infiltrate Project Alpha through the waterworks, which is actually pretty genius. Machine Man says, if Red Hulk can't break out, it ain't gonna be easy to break in. This tells us everything we need to know about how secure this place is. If someone with Red Hulk's strength couldn't escape, then breaking in is going to require some serious finesse. So we cut back to Project Alpha, and Ross is waking up after being unconscious for close to 20 hours. First Sergeant Tamika Bowden comes in to check on him, and there's this interesting dynamic between them. She's got integrity. You can tell she's conflicted about what's happening, but she's also following orders. Ross, still battered, hits her with some real talk. He tells her straight up, "You seem to have some integrity, but Ryker, he's a traitor. If you're working for him, you're complicit, which makes you my enemy." Bowden pushes back, defending herself. She was assigned here. She follows orders. And Ross is the one who's been stripped of rank and accused of treason. But Ross ain't letting up. He tells her, when he's occupied, go to his office. There'll be some sort of safe room there, lined with lead or iron. He'll use it to store a magical item that allows him direct contact with Doom. So Ross is basically dropping knowledge, giving Bowden the exact information she needs to confirm Ryker's betrayal. This is clutch because it plants that seed of doubt, and you can see Bowden's whole demeanor shift. She's conflicted now, questioning everything. Later, Bowden actually goes to Ryker's office and finds the mirror, but instead of her reflection, she sees Dr. Doom staring back at her. Doom asks, "Who are you?" And Bowden's just shook. This confirms everything Ross said. Ryker's not just working for Doom, he's got a direct line to him, which means this whole facility, this whole operation, is compromised from the top down. Back in the experiment chamber, Ryker's still torturing Ross, and he reveals his true intentions. Red Hulk should be a grunt, not a general. So I'm either going to find a way to replicate your powers, or destroy your mind. This is out of pocket, straight up. Ryker wants to reduce Red Hulk to a mere weapon, a tool to be mass produced or eliminated. He doesn't see Ross as a soldier, a leader, a human being, just as raw material for Doom's empire. And this is where Ross gives us the most powerful internal monologue of the entire issue. He says, "I was born to lead. I was built for war. Doom is this century's version of a Hitler or Napoleon or Genghis Khan. I've been dreaming all my life for a moment like this. I need to get into the field or I'm going to miss my chance. I was meant to topple this empire and restore the United States as a shining citadel." This right here encapsulates everything about Thunderbolt Ross. He's just not fighting for survival. He's fighting for purpose, for legacy, for the very soul of his country. He sees Doom for what he truly is, a tyrant on the level of history's worst monsters. And Ross believes with every fiber of his being that he was meant to be the one to stop him. But then he admits something vulnerable, something real. But as much as I hate to admit it, I'm only so strong on my own. I need help. I need soldiers. And that's where the issue brilliantly cuts to Deathlock and Machine Man infiltrating the underwater pipeline, encountering Ryker's Sharkmen experiments. These twisted hybrids that show just how far Ryker's willing to go. The cavalry is here, but they're walking into a nightmare. So by the end of Red Hulk number 7, Ross is mid-transformation, his body mutating piece by piece under Ryker's control. Ryker's goal? Strip Ross of his mind, replicate his powers, and turn Red Hulk into a weapon that obeys orders, not commands. Bowden begins to question her allegiance after encountering Doom through Ryker's secret mirror, while Deathlock and Machine Man breach the facility and come face to face with Ryker's Sharkmen and the soldiers. And through it all, Ross's internal monologue reveals the truth. He may be strong, but he can't win this war alone. He needs allies. He needs soldiers. Because in his mind, this isn't just survival. It's a mission to restore America as a shining citadel. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more comic deep dives, and let me know in the comments, should Ross be leading the charge against Doom? Or is he just another monster in the making? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.